Mm-hmm. Well, there's somebody. God, I guess everybody's in church praying for some sins. Let's see. There we go. All right, we're waiting for more people to wake up. I'll, I'll be right back. Well, let's see. Oh, now we got some more people in there. Hello, George. Yeah, I think you were here when I briefly went on yesterday. I ended up going to another page. I was there for like, God, way over an hour, probably close to 2 hours. So I never made it back to this channel. People starting to wake up. All right, you're all back from church. I see. I uh, I trust you're all hunkering down for the apocalypse. Um, oh, uh, I'm getting some fucking notification that's taking up my whole screen. Go away. Damn it. All right. I went out yesterday and get groceries and shit, stock up a bit because we're hunkering down too. Spent a whole lot of time at home. Um, and yeah, it's ridiculous. Everybody's stocking up on toilet paper. There was no canned stuff, no pasta. I think there's some rice I was able to get at Trader Joe's, a couple things. Um, uh, ooh, I just got money. Hmm. All right. Well, that's a notification I like to see. Somebody sent me money. Oh God. Okay, I don't need two different notifications. Anyway, so I was like hardly anything at Trader Joe's. So on the way home, I went to CVS. Most people don't think of CVS for groceries, but they got a whole section of the store for fucking food and shit. Fully stocked. Hardly anybody in fucking CVS. Maybe they're scared of sick people. I don't know. But they had plenty of everything, plenty of toilet paper. Well, no, it's a little. They had toilet paper, but you know, it was less than they would normally have. And then hit Walgreens on the way home. After that, stocked up on some more stuff. Same scenario. Um, don't go to grocery stores. I just went to the local corner market here. Man, I got so much fucking toilet paper. It's not even funny. And all their shelves are full. But I went to fucking Trader Joe's. First time I went to Trader Joe's in New Orleans, and it was like fucking the apocalypse was upon us or something. People like pulling trains of three shopping carts. um, what was I saying now? Yeah, so it was nuts. But you know, you go places that's not a fucking supermarket, and they got plenty of stuff. Hello, cat. Hello, kitty. What are you doing? Meh, meh, meh. Here, say hi. Yeah, black cat. I know it's cliche. You do drugs? No, I don't. I smoke pot. That's not really a drug. So, nope. Don't do drugs. Did enough of that when I was a kid. Know exactly, you know, what I was getting into, and then I guess a bit of alcohol too. But we got the disease here in New Orleans, even though people are spilling alcohol all over each other in the streets all the time. You know, I thought that would save us, but no, we got it here too. So um, I got classes coming up. I don't think this is really going to affect my classes. It's just going to probably affect the in-person turnout. But my first class at Hex New Orleans is going to be the 21st, about a week or so away from now, 7 p.m. Central Time, and it's going to be televised or broadcast on their I think Eventbrite. I don't know. I think it's Crowdcast. Yeah, Crowdcast, and then there's going to be an option for to watch it in the archives later. So if you can't make it on the 21st, hey, come check that out. It's be a protection magic class, be the first one that I'm going to teach there, and then I'm going to submit another one pretty soon because he's asking me to submit another one. But so that'll be the first one, and then Hex Fest coming up in August. I don't know how this shit's going to affect that. We've already got large gatherings being canceled. I mean, New Orleans started canceling fucking parades. That's how bad this shit has gotten. When New Orleans cancels a fucking parade, man, that is one of the signs of the apocalypse, I'm sure. But yeah, I think today would have been the St. Patrick's Day parade, or yesterday. It was supposed to be this weekend, but it's not happening. So I'll also be at Hex Fest, if it still goes on, in August. Yeah. So talking about classes, I also got the March 1st class, the year and a day course. It just started. I'm still allowing students to get into that because a lot of people showed up late to the party. So you can still sign up for that one at gumroad.com/witchschool, WITCHSKEWL. Look for the March 1st, 2020 year and a day course. And you set up an account. You could sign up for that if you want to jump into that class. The class at Hex New Orleans on the 21st. If you want to check that out, you go to hexwitch.com. And yeah, all the schools are closed. I got the call on Friday to go pick my kid up. And I don't know how that's going to work because a lot of schools are going to remote learning, through your computer and that kind of stuff. But my kid's in a Waldorf school, and they're kind of rather anti-technology until at least till later grades, to like middle school, high school age. They're not into technology, so I don't know. They might have to change their ways. As such, my kid spent so much time out of school this year. It's going to be like not, I think he had a extra month off for summer vacation because we were moving. So I don't know. The world needs to adjust, apparently. So trust you're all staying home, washing your hands, using the what do you call it? Hand sanitizer. That's a lot of people. Now that's the smartest thing. Is that people are stocking up on that shit and bleach. That makes sense. But toilet paper, I don't understand the run on toilet paper. I mean, one of the rare symptoms with the coronavirus is diarrhea, but it's rare. So I don't get it. I think this might just weed out the stupid. And they'll be home with their stockpiles of toilet paper and starve to death because they didn't get fucking food. Anyway, so just chilling on a Sunday afternoon, talking about the classes, and as you know, usually when I go live, we do this little thing called Ask Uncle Birch. It helps me be ready to answer random questions from witches all over the world. And my community service work for the community to get some actual teachings out there. Yeah, somebody was just saying they made their own hand sanitizer. I was talking about the other day. One of the things they weren't out of vodka. One of the things I put out there, or one of the things that's going on is that one of the ways that the disease is spreading is on the money. It stays alive on cash for quite a while. Uh, so I remembered back when I had that brick and mortar, I was doing a thing that I learned all the way back to the witch store that I grew up in, the Eye of the Cat in Long Beach, that actually just almost burned itself down the other day. But anyway, that's money spray. They'd spray all the money, and it was like a money drawing spray. They'd spray all the incoming money to make that money attract more money. This was an alcohol-based solution. So we were doing the same thing in my shop, and never even really thought about the disinfecting factor of that. So if you have a witch store, or you have a place that takes money, maybe that money thing. It's basically an alcohol base with Irish moss, galangal, basil, and mint in it. So it smells kind of nice too. But you just kind of soak that in the alcohol in a dark place, out of the sun for like a week or so, and then start spraying your money. And it's gonna attract more money and disinfect your shit. I'll give you that one for free. So we do this thing called Ask Uncle Birch. You can ask about any type of magic. I tend to have something to say about it. Trying to be too long-winded, or I'll miss part of your question. Try not to ask me a question when I'm answering a question, or it confuses the hell out of me. Let's see. Citizen, hola, Uncle Birch, hello. Adriel, Mork, are they out of vodka? Any suggestions for a wand? Should it be fresh off the tree? Well, Cody, I think I know you. The most traditional wand for a man in the European variety is going to be oak. Willow for a woman. The most common for both men and women in Italian witchcraft is going to be walnut. Yeah, it's best fresh off the tree. But my first video over 10 years ago on this channel, before I knew what the hell I was going to be doing on YouTube, I talked about my wand, showed my wand. I was walking around a place, excuse me, in Southern California. I got allergies, not coronavirus. I was walking looking for an oak tree in a place where the oak trees are pretty much bush-sized anyways, if I was able to even find one. I was walking, with the intent of finding a wand. And I stood on, I stepped on a stick, I guess. I was just walking along, and this fucking stick flew up and dinked me right in the middle of the forehead, cut my forehead. It's like a little eye. It almost looked like an eyelid-sized cut on my head. And I looked down at this perfectly straight stick. I took the perfectly straight stick and I held it, the tip to my fingers, and it reached right to the crook of my elbow, the perfect length for a wand. This wand chose me. I was looking, I to this day, I don't know what kind of wood it is. It almost looked like a driftwood or a piece of root. I don't know, but it was not fresh off the tree, and it's been the only wand that I have. I've made plenty of wands for other people and to sell them in my shop, but kept that wand forever. I still don't know exactly what the wood is. So, traditionally, yeah, fresh off the tree is best. Ritually cutting it, but when you got something like that where a stick dinks you in the fucking third eye, well, that's the right stick. Gothica, Mistress of Darkness. Hey, Uncle Birch, any spell or dirties that protect from disease? We need it today. What about herbs that burst your immunity? Bless you. Yeah, don't know any, spells for that kind of thing. Herbal medicine was witchcraft once upon a time. So it was the medicine aspect of it. So definitely elderberry syrup. We have this stuff that we've been taking for years. It's called immunoberry. It's elderberry syrup, but it's got a couple other things in there too. Um, Really good shit. But the thing is, those are only good for preventative. Um, if you have it, you don't want to take that stuff. You don't want to. I think my wife called it trapping the burglar. And once it's already inside the house, you try and boost your immune system when you already have it. It's gonna stay in you. It's best to take this kind of stuff every day as a preventive. And a lot of people are hip to that. But we've haven't done a flu shot. Did a flu shot um, right before my kid was born. It was the only flu shot I ever got. Um, you just keep doing the immunoberry, man. A couple droppers full every day. My kids, I think, had one cold his entire life, and I haven't had many either because my wife will dose me up with all that Chinese medicine shit. Um, but elderberry syrup, if you can still find it, that immunoberry stuff, good stuff. Let's see. Turmeric is good. Oh, deities protecting from disease. Hermes. I mean, Hermes eventually gets deified, but from Hermes we got uh, science, medicine, and magic. Those three things come from Hermetics. Um, Here in the UK, officials think people need to be exposed to the virus to develop their immunity. Um, do you think it's true when that comes to? And normally I'd agree, but I think the problem with this, I wasn't, planning on talking about coronavirus all day, but if that's what you want to talk about, okay. Um, um, from what I understand, you can get this virus and survive it and then get it again, like right away. I know of no other virus like that. You develop an immunity. It's like, you will not get that same cold, probably that year once you've kicked that cold. Or you will not get that flu again that year once you've kicked that flu. You've developed an immunity for it. Now, I've never known another virus to do that where you can get it right away. So, to me, right away, that makes it very questionable. I mean, I'm not a doctor, but that's how vaccines work. So, if you don't develop an immunity to it after having it, I don't understand how they're going to make a vaccine. Vaccines work for all that other stuff that we've had, but all that other stuff operated by the normal rules. So I'm really not sure how that's going to work out. Let's see. Uh, how effective is flour or cornmeal for a magic circle compared to making your own out of cloth? Who the hell's making magic circles out of cloth? Cornmeal, magic circle compared. Yeah. Yeah, I've seen people make a magic circle out of salt. I've seen a magic circle out of various sprinkling powders. Um, Cornstarch is the common base for most magical powders. Uh, so that makes perfect sense. But I've just never known anybody to make one out of cloth. Make a magic circle out of cloth. I believe Mathers recommended using canvas. Hmm. All right. I guess there is something about that. I mean, I guess I have done that kind of thing when in a place where I haven't been able to draw on the floor with chalk. I did do that with my Pati Pemba in Palo when I was at a place where I couldn't draw on the ground with the chalk. Let's see, triangles. In Urban Primitive, there's lessons on working with the city spirit. Do you have any input on that? Absolutely. The Urban Primitive is probably the only book I know that did anything like that. Um, and any place that there's movement, electricity, stuff going on, um, it's a power source. Um, when we were in Hollywood, the 101 freeway was just like right over there. You probably heard it all the time when I was live. It was just like right off the deck or the veranda where we used to hang out. Um, and I would quite often put up a giant transformation triangle over that freeway and suck up the energy of the passing cars and transform that into anything that I wanted. Um, there's things like in the urban primitive, like a subway tunnel, where a subway tunnel, you know, reaches the non-subterranean, where it reaches, its entrance, its exit points, ways to harness the power from there. Um, and it's just like when we harness power from the earth, visualizing roots going down, all that kind of stuff that you pull in any kind of power from any kind of source. Especially if you use Uncle Birch's transformation triangle, you can transform that shit into anything you want. So, um, that's my input on that, I believe. Yes. Um, hmm. Have you ever helped a person alleviate harmful behavior stemming from autism during your many years of practice? Uh, no, I have not. I've seen a lot of data about dogs. Like service animal dogs, like really helping people with autism, all kinds of other stuff. I saw somebody having an epileptic seizure, and the dog, like they were like banging their head on the floor, and the dog like crawled in between them and the floor. And especially like my dog, the big dog, he's very grounding. You hug that dog and you ain't got a problem in the world, man. It just fucking goes away. So dogs are really sensitive to what's going on with their owners. And so I've seen, service dogs doing all kinds of stuff for all kinds of ailments, and I've definitely seen them working with autistic kids. Now, that is a kind of magic. These dogs feel the vibration. They can smell. They get a lot of data from sniffing. Your smell tells a dog a whole lot. So I don't know magics for dealing with autism. There's something right there. Even scientists say how dogs predict oncoming seizures. Yeah. Retransformation symbols. I think I know what you're asking, Cody. Here on my video channel here, there's two videos. There's one I think it's called Banishing Poverty, which should actually have been Transforming Poverty. And then another one, Psychic Self-Defense Shields Up. And between those two videos, I give enough information for you to figure out my transformation sigil. And in those videos, it has some very specific uses, but in reality, the transformation sigil can be used to transform any energy into anything you want. Even electromagnetic energy, even radiation can be transformed into something else. Or, if you got the funds, you can go over to gumroad.com/witch school, WITCHSKEWL, and there you can get the larger version. It's called Spiritual Warfare Feeding on Your Enemy, or Feeding on Your Enemies. And so there I'm using it very specifically to deal with the negativity coming off of an individual. But in that, I give the entire ritual, which is much larger, and from that ritual, I created the sigil. That is the quicker one that you'll find out there on the internet. So I used the transformation full-on ritual. It's got, like, I think a candle for every fucking planet in the solar system, and the moon, and just very large involved ritual. and from that I created the sigil. So in reality, you could create a different transformation sigil out of that ritual. But mine's been out on the internet for so long, it's developing power that way too. It's, the hiding a sigil in plain sight kind of thing. How soon after studying and practicing beginner rituals like the LBRP can I consider myself a magician witch? Um, how do solo practitioners get the internal authority to accept that title? Um, I think once you start doing magic, call yourself a witch. There are so many different types of witch and different levels of witch. Um, what I don't like is the people that don't study and don't do anything and then start calling themselves a witch. Like if you're doing witchcraft, you might be a witch. So I think if you're practicing the LBRP, you're doing your study. Go ahead, start calling yourself a witch, but just keep doing witchcraft. Um, but my problem is, I guess I'm a gatekeeper. Um, there's so many kids out there that just don't want to study anything and just want to immediately be a witch without any foundation. They want to say, intent is all that matters and do whatever you feel, blah, 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 blah. None of that shit's true. Your feelings can become really important, but nobody's feelings are perfect. I think I was just telling this story yesterday. I remember, who was that twit? Alyssa Perini, I believe it was, back in Santa Cruz, made a bad Yelp review because she had feelings and she felt that Uncle Birch hoards his magic and refuses to share it with anyone. Let's just leave that one fucking hanging right there. And this was all because she asked me the recipe of one of the oils on my shelf. Excuse me? I'm selling those. I'm not going to give you my fucking recipe. Go make up your own fucking recipe, bitch. Jesus fucking. I mean, she was just like demanding it. It's like, no, you cannot have it. And she had a feeling that I had too much black magic stuff around my store. Now, this is somebody embraced by my enemy back in Santa Cruz, the Serpent's Piss. And all the people that basically didn't like me, they all loved her. And the fact that a person could look at stuff in a witch store and declare anything to be black magic or white magic just shows that they have not studied. They don't know a goddamn thing about the craft. Problem with witchcraft and in our society is it becomes the resting place for those that have no social circles and nobody wants to hang out with them. Some people are doing it for a social aspect because it's the only group that will accept them in their midst because we're very accepting people and we accept all kinds of people's fucking bullshit. But it becomes, people's fucking social life rather than, socializing with people that do magic, and sharing something in common with the people. So we get people like that who's, there for the social aspect but don't know anything about goddamn magic. What can kill can cure. Everything has a dual purpose. Most things in a witch store can be used to hex or to heal. A black candle can cast a hex. A black candle can remove a hex. Graveyard dirt can be used for protection. It can also be used mixed with some other stuff to be a really nasty fucking hex. Salt can fucking cure you or it can kill you. All of it, man. Everything has a fucking dual purpose. But she, when talk about her feelings, she felt this, she felt that. And it's like, now this bitch is, perpetually single and probably single to this day. It's like, and I wanted to ask her, well, hey, how have your feelings been working out in your relationships? Are you in the fucking perfect relationship, or your feelings ever led you astray, basically? And who can say that they have not? Your feelings, your intuition can become very important, but what you really need to do is learn what feelings not to follow. Not everything you feel is right. So it's not do whatever you feel. It's not, intent is all that matters. This is some bullshit that fucking people spread around. So As you can see, we've been doing this thing called Ask Uncle Birch. I see people keep joining us, so I give the spiel again. I am on a teaching frenzy. I'm getting ready for my first in-person class in the last 5 years. Uh, with the Black Plague going on, I'm not sure how many people will show up in person, but lucky for me, it's also televised. It's televised, and also you can watch it in archives later, but it's going to be at Hex New Orleans, and you just go over to hexwitch.com, and you can get tickets, learn about the class, sign up for it, and if you like Uncle Birch's teachings and stuff, please do. If you can go to the class, please do. I want to have a lot of people at the class. It's my coming out party in New Orleans. Be my first official class in New Orleans, and I gotta rock this shit. And I gotta get fucking more ratings than all of the people that came before me. And there's really only two. Only two people have taught in this format. It's a new thing that Hex New Orleans is doing. So it shouldn't take much for me to rock that. I gotta be, not that I want to compete with my colleagues, but yeah, it's all about ratings, and I want to fucking blow them away, and then by this time next year, Uncle Bert should be teaching at 10 different shops in New Orleans. Now, really, it doesn't help my bottom line that much. I'm not making much money off of doing this. I miss it. I miss teaching in person. I miss teaching live. The format that I teach mostly at Gumroad, it's happening right now. Somebody's taking that class right now. And I've got 4 different year-and-a-day courses going at the same time. Somewhere in the world, one of my students is studying right now. Or they saw me go on live and I've totally interrupted their homework. Sorry about that. But check me out at Hex New Orleans. Go to hexwitch.com. And you can also find all the other classes at gumroad.com/witch school, WITCHSKEWL. But this thing they're doing over here at Hex New Orleans, it made me aware of certain software that I didn't know about. Like, was it Crowdcast? I didn't know anything about Crowdcast. I'm looking at Crowdcast. And there's another one, is it Zoom? I think I have that on my phone. I haven't actually used it. But there's a few formats for doing live classes. And I think I'm going to do some of that stuff on my own, too. You can just set it up and, set up a time and just do live classes, and then it's archived later. So in addition to gumroad.com/witch school, there's going to be something else. And I need to rebrand Witch School anyways. I'm going to keep the WITCHSKEWL, but brand myself as something else also, because WITCHSKEWL does have a following. It is a thing. It's out there in the internet, but it requires me to spell it all the time. And when we had Christian Day over to our house for one of our Wittershin shows, he mentioned that. He said, well, the problem is you've got to spell that all the time because you've got a weird spelling. And one time on your show, while I was sitting there, you forgot to spell it out. And when you forget to spell it out, you're probably sending people over to the Corellians, the people that borrowed your last name, because they have Witch School, the common spelling. So those are some of the things that are going on with me. We're doing Ask Uncle Birch. I'm going to go grab me another beer. And, I believe Hexfest is sold out. Christian might be freeing up a few extra tickets, but I'm sure it's because of me. But yeah, Hexfest sold out way early this year. I'm going to grab me another beer. Y'all going to think of your questions. Looks like I had a question or two right there, so I'll come back and look at those. I'll be right back. All right, let's see what we have here. You know anything about astral police that Dion Fortune spoke about in their psychic self-defense? I don't. I remember the book Self-Defense and Well-Being. It was probably the first book of its kind back in the day. Um, I've known of no astral police. There are certain organizations um, secretly working behind the scenes on similar kind of things, but I can't. Being that I'm in one, and I have rather high ranking within such an organization that is similar to the Astral Police. Um, we do kind of handle things like magical attacks, witch wars that have gotten out of hand, that kind of thing. But um, it's rather secretive. I couldn't talk about it, and witches. One of the reasons we don't talk about it is witches would be all pissed off. Anytime somebody comes around trying to regulate us, self-appointed regulators, which is always flip out about that stuff. So there are certain secretive organizations out there trying to, you know, keep the bad, dangerous magicians at bay. I will say no more about that. Mixed results with Four Thieves spell cast over a year ago. Do you think I should repeat the working or try something different? Purchase the Four Thieves rather than making it myself. Yeah, Citizen 333. Make it. Do it again, but make it. It's always going to be better if you make it. Four Thieves is not hard to make either. And I'm not going to tell you how to make it. You can look that up. Let's see. Yep, Paul Zimmerman. God, I don't even remember which class you're in, Paul, but what was I going to say? Behind in homework. Well, those have been my class. You know what a hard ass Uncle Birch is about. Turning in homework in a timely manner, and I'll whack you with a ruler on your knuckles if I have to. No, I have people that recently started turning in homework from the year and a day courses that I taught about 7 years ago. So clearly, I'm not harping on the homework. The whole point of the way that my courses work is you take it at your own speed. You take it at your own level, at your own convenience, and provided I'm still around, you can still turn in your homework. I had somebody just, turn in their homework from like 7 years ago, and then petitioned for initiation. But I'm not waiting for a couple more of my classes to get through before I start doing initiations again. I look racked. Well, I'm not sure what racked is, but no, I am chilling. Been staying home for the last 2 days, well, except for going out for supplies, that kind of thing. Let's see, what was that? Okay, Hex, got a question on making runes. Okay, well, let me know your question. Love me for hello. Know a good astrological time to release an album. I'm gonna say a full moon in Mercury, and not and when Mercury's direct. Yeah, this full moon's kind of a manifestation of things. Uranus conjunct Jupiter. That might be kind of interesting too. But I'm gonna go with the moon and Mercury thing, or maybe a full moon on the day of Mercury, an hour of Mercury, but full moon with Mercury. That's what I'll say. But that other one might be cool too. Uranus is the masses, and Jupiter is expansion. Yes. What I always like to remind people is like, yeah, okay, Jupiter's expansion, but I also teach my kids, look at what the planet does in the heavens in relation to us. And I use Jupiter for shielding. Jupiter's our bro. This planet would have been destroyed a billion times over had it not been for Jupiter's big ass hanging there, sucking all that stuff up that would come and destroy our planet. Even in my lifetime, I saw a comet slam into Jupiter. I recall it broke into several pieces. Uh, the Christians said it was a sign from God. It looked like angels crashing into Jupiter or some fucking crap. I know how to make forties. You you have a great video on it. I didn't make it myself because I needed results fast. I guess the lesson I learned the patience. Oh, I have a video. I didn't even know. I've been I've been doing this internet witchery thing longer than most people. I'm one of the original YouTube people teaching witchcraft. Hello, Emerald City Mystic. And I kind of lose track of some of the videos I have. It used to be like that in music. Somebody came and was quoting one of my songs to me one time, and I was just looking at him and going, "Hey, that's kind of a cool little ditty." And he was just looking at me, like, "You don't know that was your song, dumbass." But like the witchcraft classes, I had so many songs I lost track of them. I wrote mostly protest songs, so every different protest I was at, I wrote a song for it. So kind of lose track of some of them, when I'm not doing that protest anymore. So, yeah, I got a lot of videos out there. I think I just recently reached 8,000 subscribers. Now, if I could just get a handful of y'all to go over to hexwitch.com and sign up for that class. Hey, you'd be helping me, I'll be helping you. This be an epic fucking class. When I did Hexfest, I rocked the shit out of Hexfest too, and I'm sure it's probably because of me that Hexfest sold out so early this year. I'm sorry about that. No, I'm not. But Hexfest this year, I'm a local now, and locals get paid. Last time I got paid with a plane ticket and a hotel. Um, which was cool. The expenses were paid basically. But when you're a local, there's no expenses, so I get paid for it, and I only got to teach one workshop. When they're bringing you in and paying for your airfare and your hotel, they get their money's worth out of you. So I taught three classes or three workshops at a Hexfest last year, and then I was on a panel. So I was pretty busy most of the time, and it was our first time at New Orleans. So we were busy, checking out all the bars and stuff like that. So it'll be different. I'm not sure what it's going to be like, but I don't see any possibility of Christian canceling Hexfest at this point. Let's see, Paul. I've heard a small bit about particular practices in carving a set of Futhark runes on the slices of a branch. Been holding on to a particular branch, but do you know the importance of the tree type? Tree type can be important, but if you've got a stick that you've invested energy into, and it seems like the seems like the right wood, kind of like my wand. Yeah, I've done that before. A little, I think it's a little skill saw or something like that. You just make little circular slabs, and then use a wood burner to burn them on the wood, and they always look really cool. Really difficult to do that on stones. You need a vise and a special kind of Dremel to drill into it, and it's really hard to do a straight line on a stone. But a wood burner is just made for doing that kind of stuff. So, in addition to me shamelessly plugging my classes and stuff, we're doing Ask Uncle Birch, as you can see. If you haven't been around or you're new to my channel, I'm Uncle Birch. I teach witchcraft for a living. I've been teaching witchcraft about 40 plus years. I started teaching witchcraft as soon as I started formally studying witchcraft. And I wouldn't recommend doing that, but it worked out for me. At some point in my life, it became my full-time job. And didn't see that coming. Nobody said, this is your path. go follow your path. It's like, no, I look back and say, whoa, hey, that's an interesting path. That's twisted, that path I've been on. I didn't even realize it was a path for decades, but I do this kind of thing, like I've been saying, I get paid to teach. I do pretty well. Ain't bragging if it's true, but it's not all about pay. I got my YouTube channel with 300 some odd videos teaching all kinds of stuff for free. Um, I do this community service kind of thing because it's a wide world of witchcraft and magic out there, and a lot of people are just spreading disinformation, misinformation, and absolute bullshit. A lot of people talking about shit above their pay grade, shit they don't know. Anything you ever find Uncle Birch teaching you is something that I know. If it's something that I just heard of, I will tell you, well, I've heard this, but I don't really know. Anything I'm teaching, I've experimented with. I know, the beginning of it, the end of it, and all the weaving that went to make the thing be. Um, you're so knowledgeable, dude. Wow, thank you. It has been said that Uncle Birch is a walking, talking encyclopedia of occult knowledge. And that's very flattering. But encyclopedias can be referenced. They have reference materials, bibliographies, that kind of thing. A lot of the stuff that I know, it takes me a while to remember where the fuck I got that from. I've read so many things, I retain all the information, but not always what book I got that information from. So, not quite an encyclopedia. What's your view on the book Abramelin and the Mage? Holy Garden Angel. It's like 18 months since the Abramelin operation. Yeah, making Abramelin oil. Yeah, it's well, 18 months in isolation might be a good time to do your Abramelin operation right now. It's a good time to be isolated. My opinion is that's very important work that a lot of other things are based on, and I know it well. Oh, God, notifications. Get off my screen, notifications. Let's see. I've watched you for many years. Really helped with my study. I used to be a big AOS fan. America on AOS. AOS. Oh, thank you. Austin Osman Spare. Yeah. Well, I've never been an Austin Osman Spare fan. I would much rather read Phil Hine. Spare is teaching chaos magic, and he's teaching it in the way that, Abramelin, Agrippa, Solomon, teaching that old mage speak that takes way too long to say. I mean, I know it's older stuff, so it makes sense. That's how they talked back then. But then you go to Phil Hine. Phil Hine talks like we talk now. Back then, in mage speak, it took 3 pages to say something that we say in a sentence now. And granted, back when these people were first working, nobody knew dick about magic. So yeah, you had to start at the ground floor and explain every little bit along the way. So they had to be long-winded. But it's very hard to wrap your head around. Where Phil Hine, he's so easy to wrap your head around. I have, had some like low spooky background music and read Phil Hine over a pirate radio station. I did Prime Chaos and Condensed Chaos, did the entire fucking books. I should see if the archives are still out there on the internet somewhere. From pirate radio station that I started way back in the day, Freak Radio Santa Cruz, which is the longest continuously running pirate radio station in the country, and as far as I know is still running to this day. But I used to read Phil Hine, man. Phil Hine is just, you want to learn chaos magic? I can't think of a better source than Phil Hine. He hasn't written a book in a long time, and I definitely, suggest supporting his work. Prime Chaos and Condensed Chaos are his 2 main works. There's also the Pseudonomicon. That's a different take on some other stuff. Um, but it should be noted that all of the material that went into Phil Hines' two very well known books uh, were previously published by him in other formats on the internet, available for free in PDF. Aspects of evocation is definitely one you can find out there, and I think just even that one carries a huge chunk of the material that went to make prime chaos or condensed chaos. Um, so look up Phil Hines, some of his best work you can find out there. There's even a guy here on YouTube did Phil Hines Go Who servitor. That was a great one. The Go Who servitor, when Phil Hine he was going to make a hunter killer servitor to blast people that started rumors and gossip about him. Um, but he had an awakening and realized that people talking about you when you're not there, whether true or not true, just adds to your power. It's part of a mage's power, especially telling crazy things. You're a Satanist, and you invoke the devil and lick his asshole, and shit like that. And so instead, he ended up creating a servitor to start rumors and gossip about him, and to bring those rumors to his ear, so he could hear about them. And then he cataloged some really just hilarious shit that people had started after he made this servitor. So instead of stopping gossip, he created a servitor to create more gossip, which is always going to work better because magic follows the path of least resistance. If you already got people out there gossiping about you, it's going to take far less energy to make them gossip about you more than it's going to take to stop them from gossiping. God, look at that interesting shit we're learning here. When I was on the New Witch channel yesterday, very different stuff than what we're talking about over here. But we're doing Ask Uncle Birch, and we're having a great time. Always get a nice mixed bag over here. Beverage of the day. Well, so far, Elysian Space Dust IPA. Now, as I'm looking at it on the screen right now, it's backwards. I don't know if that's going to be backwards later. I'm not sure how that works. The other channel is it's called Wicca and Witchcraft for Beginners. And I do a lot of this over there. I'm one of the most popular subjects on the page. But yesterday they were kind of threatening to not let me do that over there anymore. And I'm not sure. I'm not sure if we worked that out or not. But I'm quite frankly, I'm the highest rated thing on that fucking page. So it was kind of interesting that they were, kind of trying to fuck me over, but felt the need to negotiate with me. So I'm not really sure. The problem with negotiations, words and actions are different things. So I think we negotiated some sort of deal where I can continue to do that over there. But we'll see. We'll see if they actually approve it next time I go live. But I was on for well over an hour over there. I learned magic is real when I went to Peru years ago. Powerful female shaman healed me from a black magic spell at an ayahuasca ceremony. Black magic was surprisingly common in the Amazon. I do have something to add to that, I guess. It's kind of on topic. I don't know. When I had that brick and mortar, I had a friend, he was Peruvian. He would go there and visit family a couple times a year. And he would come back with big bags of black copal. Now, black copal came from the Shipibo tribe of the Uncali River in the Peruvian Amazon. And apparently, the copal trees naturally secrete the resin copal. And the natives, I don't know where they got aluminum foil, but they made these little aluminum foil cups. They hang it on the trees and let them fill up with resin. Then they let them dry out. And when they export them, they would still be in the little aluminum cups. And we'd have a little party at the store peeling the aluminum off of the copal. But we knew You know, that's pure fucking copal right there. There's no factory involved. Nobody fuck with that at all. Straight from the fucking Peruvian Amazon to you. Now, last time I saw the man, I think I had a premonition that I was not going to be in Santa Cruz for very long, and no time, no knowing when I was going to see the guy again. So I asked him. I said, "So how much of that shit do you have?" And he says, I got a burlap sack in my fucking trunk." And I go, "How much for the whole sack, bro?" I bought it. So I've been sporting a huge amount of black copal. I do sell it on my web page, um, uh, but that's my black copal, straight from the Peruvian Amazon, place I've never been. And the Shipibo tribe of the Uncali River. Like when you told me that, I wrote that on the fucking jar in my shop just so I could remember the tribe that this came from. It's like I don't know any other um, substance that I carry that better than that. What does it do? Uh, Copal is really good for cleansing, banishing negativity, that kind of stuff. It's good for love, but it's also good. It's an offering for your gods, your spirits, especially if they're South American types. They really love this shit. But it's one of those dual purpose, and typically there's white gold and black copal. Black copal is called Mayan copal. Um, and this is just the blackest. I've seen other black copal, looks like dirt. Not this stuff, man. It's just black as night, black as pitch, and it's got a very um pungent, almost piney smell that the white copals don't seem to have, and the gold copal doesn't seem to have either. Hello, dear.
Hi.
People been saying hi to you, and you're not even really there.
My phone was charging. I have priorities.
Her phone was charging. People just had
You don't
priorities.
have anything out here that can charge it.
No, I need to go through some boxes. The shaman that healed me was Shipibo. That probably why I was motivated to tell you that story, Citizen 33. I mean, that's really the only thing I know about Peru is that one tribe. So hey, hell of a coincidence, huh? What is Haka? I don't know. Haka.
Wasn't there some kind of haka dance in that movie, Black Panther?
It's a dance with the movie Black Panther. You haven't even seen the movie though.
I know, but remember when he was there for the Academy Awards and that woman got in trouble? She's like, do the haka dance, and Lisa Bonet was like, I think that's what it was
Yeah.
called. But that's probably not what they're asking me.
Oh, here now it's Heyoka.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
that.
I know less. Give me more. Give me more.
Yeah,
I'm
I can tell you
interested.
about the haka dance.
Yeah, when I don't know something, I want to know more about it. So I think I still have to look up yesterday tar water. Somebody asked about that. I didn't know what tar water was. So apparently it's a
But I
voodoo
thought
thing.
I thought it was a typo, and she corrected it.
No,
to
she
war
then
water.
said it's like war water, and
Oh,
then later she said it's a different thing. It's like tar in water to remove negativity. I don't know. I didn't know that tar and water would mix. Spirit mania, Heyoka, spirit mania. Um, I know of a lot of different. A traditional dance from the New Zealand Maori tribes, a couple of other islands in Polynesia. So like the static dance with spirits. That's pretty common in a lot of places. You see that in voodoo. See that Ifa. Um, I think I've seen that in Palo. Um, Lakota tribe shaman. Okay, and so maybe apparently they do it too. So it's kind of interesting if it's the same thing. If the New Zealand tribes are doing the same thing as the Lakota tribe, that's pretty interesting. And that happens. And that's the thing that I'm always harping on. For some reason, there's indigenous cultures all over the world that haven't had contact with each other, but have come up with damn similar ideas, and almost duplicate ideas. And hey, New Zealand's a long way away from the United States, or North America. Okay. Mhm. Egyptian Haku. Derek. Hello, Derek. Interesting. Well, that I'd be interested to know. It's like, how many places does this idea appear? This is part of my things, spiritual things, float around on the air, and people all over the world come up with similar ideas with that. So it's not always somebody taking something from another culture. A lot of these things exist in their culture too. The haiku is probably something different. Okay. Nonetheless, I don't know much about it. I've plenty of ecstatic dance to where you dance so crazy that a spirit takes you over, and then the spirit dances crazy, and that really does come up a lot in Ifa. Comes up a lot in voodoo. I think that's like um, uh, one of the main things that they want to happen in voodoo is you wanted by a spirit and have them make you dance like a crazy person. So we're doing this thing called Ask Uncle Birch. Very interesting questions. I mean, that's what I like about my channel. And I don't have to, get approved to go live on my channel. But we get very different questions than when I go on New Witch page. New Witch page is almost too easy these days because everybody asks the same questions. I've got at this point, I've got canned answers for most of the things that people are going to ask over on that channel. And it makes me seem very wise. But in a couple days now, man, I gotta tell you again, Uncle Birch teaching protection magic at Hex, New Orleans. If you can come out, come out. I probably won't shake your hand. Probably won't give you a hug. I'll be doing, hand sanitizer all over the fucking place for the people that show up. But for those, that are hiding out, what else are you gonna do? You're gonna run out of shit to binge watch by then. Um, I'm constantly trying to quit smoking, George. And really, that's like the only thing concerning about the coronavirus is it's really bad for smokers. Other than that, I don't have any health conditions, knock on wood, that would make me susceptible to dying from the thing. um, I oh good, glad for you. I did quit cold turkey for like 3 years one time. Um, uh, and I was a cop. Yeah, I know. A lot of you are shocked. I'll leave you with that for a minute. Um, I was still an anarchist, but I managed to land a job as a cop and be an anarchist. And it was a social experiment. I was trying to change the system from inside. Very idealistic. I was probably very young. Didn't really work out that way. But I'll always remember I'd quit smoking for 3 years because I had to make it through the academy and that kind of shit. And it was the first night that the other officers invited me to go to Winchell's with them. I'm not shitting you. The donut shop. That was a real thing. I was like my moment of recognition. I'd been there for like a year. I'd gone through all my hazing and initiatory shit that the cops put you through, and so it was the first night they invited me out to Winchell's, which was about half a mile out of my jurisdiction, and half a mile out of all of their jurisdictions. And so, we left, and everybody went that way, and I went that way to go back to my beat. I'm driving down this really busy boulevard, and uh, I hear this pop, and I saw the flash over here. Over here, everything starts going slow motion at this point. Over here, this woman, she's a whore, a street hooker, grabs her face, falls to the ground. Everything's moving in slow motion. And I look over here, and I get, the gun still is recoiling. And this guy comes back down, He had shot this woman from across the street, hit her dead in the face with a one-handed hold on a 22 pistol, and everything's moving in slow motion, right? So as the gun comes back down, he goes two-handed hold, and I'm right in the fucking line of fire at this point. And my training kicked in. I saw the fucking gun come down. I saw the muzzle come down, and I went down across the fucking driver's seat, punched the fucking gas with my fist, got it up to a full rev, and then yanked the fucking wheel, sliding fucking sorry. Perfect. Exactly what they fucking trained me. Get out of my fucking car, behind cover, fucking pointing my gun. They're fucking gone. But as you know, when that gun came down and I hit that seat, pop, 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 pop. He unloaded that fucking clip at my fucking car, man. Not a hole. Didn't hit. He hit this woman from across the street with a single hand hold. Went double handed me, unloaded the fucking clip at my fucking car. Didn't even fucking hit it. I was definitely praying to my gods that fucking day. I'm out of my jurisdiction. I had to call the Long Beach PD to come over there and fucking, handle the victim, take the report, that kind of thing. And the officers, as he's taking his fucking report, he's smoking. And I say, hey, bro, can I bum one of those off you? Been smoking since, man. Gone back and forth, cut down, done a million fucking things. So yeah, George, I quit cold turkey too, but something about, being shot at for, well, not, it wasn't the first time I've been shot at, clearly, but, that one really, I was in the fucking crosshairs and probably should have fucking died. But my gods were looking out for me. So hopefully that story has something to do with something. I don't know. Yeah, well, of course you find that funny. I mean, I was an anarchist cop, who can tell that story? Nobody's got that fucking story, man. But I did it. It was a personal crusade. Didn't exactly work out. I did not change the world. I did not change the system from the inside, but I helped a whole lot of citizens. I did a whole lot of fucking good. I protected a whole lot of weak against strong. I helped a whole lot of victims, and that's what I was trying to do. I was trying to be the one cop that you'd run into that does the right thing. What I found out is that there's a lot of young cops that do the right thing, and after a few years, they're broken and they join the fucking Borg. Once I realized that magic is real, I really got into the Essenes, but also EA, Yin Yang, right? Then I found out about mind and magic, and then found you, and I've studied magic for about 10 years now. Ah, yeah, well, I've been seeing you around for a long time. Yeah, EA, yeah, that's what I thought, EA coding. Mind and magic, yeah, baby. Yeah, probably me and EA would be yin and yang. I'm not sure who's yin and who's yang, but never really been a huge fan of his work. But when I was in Hollywood, I got interviewed for a series called Cursed Films, about cursed movies and movie sets, like The Omen, The Exorcist, Amityville Horror, these kinds of things. They came to my house. I had a whole fucking film crew in my house. Lights, fucking boom mics hanging down in front of my face, everything. It was really a trip. That movie was supposed to debut at the South by Southwest, or I mean that series, debut at the South by Southwest Film Festival this month, which has been canceled. So I'm not sure when it's going to be coming on. It's owned by A&E. It's supposed to appear on Shudder, which is a paid service for like horror movies and shit. I'm hoping it eventually ends up on A&E, so I don't have to like pay for this other service just to see myself in the thing. So I'm not sure now that it's not debuting at the South by Southwest Film Festival. I'm not sure when it's going to debut, but I've been pretty in contact with the director. He kind of became a friend of mine. And from what I was told after they left my house, they were going to Utah to go to EA's house. And I am told that EA, okay, first of all, EA proposed doing a death ritual on camera, asked the director to designate an enemy. The director refused to do that. So, not only did EA do a death ritual for the camera, he did a death ritual without a target. I don't know what to say about that. That's a bold strategy, Cotton. I'd like to know how that worked out. Bad enough to just, play up fucking Hollywood and do a fucking death ritual for him on the thing. Um, but a death ritual without a target, well, that sounds rather problematic, I think.
Didn't they? He would like want him to choose a target.
Yeah, that's what I told him that. He
Oh,
wanted him to choose a target, and the director refused, so
yeah.
he went ahead and did the death ritual without a specific
Well,
target.
he probably chose his own dark target.
I don't know. Either way, um, it didn't garner any more respect for EA than I had before. I do. I appreciate his arrogance. That's about it. All right. I don't know what the hell we were talking about here. We're doing Ask Uncle Birch. Uh,
Oh, you know what I just posted?
hmm.
Ireland orders all of its pubs to close on the eve of St. Patrick's Day.
Oh my God.
They're all
Yeah.
closed.
Yeah. Hopefully that story has something to do with something. Well, it always does. Like with Citizen. I think it was Citizen. Whoever was talking about Peru. I launch into a story. I don't know why I'm doing it. You know, maybe sometimes it is do whatever you feel, and somehow that story touches somebody on the other end in some deep dark place, which apparently that person had actually been healed by a member of the Shipibo tribe, and I just happened to spew that story. So I kind of just go with it, and it always tends to work out. I'll hear from somebody later that story touched their soul somehow and made bells go off. What are you doing, puppy? Is the cat under there? You keep messing with that cat, man. He's gonna fuck you up. Dumb puppy. Anyway, we're doing Ask Uncle Birch. You can ask almost any question. We're doing Ask Uncle Birch, and I'm constantly plugging my classes. So, again, the 21st, Protection Magic at Hex New Orleans. You can go to hexwitch.com and sign up, get tickets. You can come in person, or you can watch it from the safety of your home.
That's the best option.
While wiping your computer screen down with sanitizer constantly. Or you can watch it in the archives later. But get over there to hexwitch.com. Come on, you can afford to go to a fucking class. Come on. And help me rock this shit. And then I'll be teaching there all the time. And then all of my friends that have shops in New Orleans, I'll be teaching at all of them. Unless one of them pays me enough to be exclusive. Either way, it's win-win for me. EA's early work was pretty good. He changed with the Azazel workings. Yeah, I don't know if I saw his early work. That's when I realized I needed to learn from someone more on the light side of the Force. Then I found Mind and Magic. Yeah. Well, Frater Xavier, he's my bro. We go way back, and he's given me really good ideas. He's the one that gave me the idea to teach at gumroad.com. Making me able to be a full-time teacher of witchcraft. That probably changed it more than anything. I had my correspondence courses going off of YouTube back then, but nothing like Mind and Magic. It's nothing like making money when I'm asleep, teaching witchcraft when I'm having sex, that kind of thing, or I'm on the fucking toilet. Not necessarily in that order, but yeah. Frater Xavier is the shit. Okay. people sending me attachments and messenger. Jesus, get off my fucking screen. So, if you have any questions about magic or witchcraft, something to say, have at it. Let's see. I need to up my practice, man. Just been too busy. Wow. Up your practice then, George. I mean, there's always time to do some magic. Busy or not, do enough magic, you'll be less busy. Or, you'll be more independently wealthy and not have to do as much busy work. Oh yeah, play with the squeaky toy while I'm on camera, you fuck. Ah, well, beautiful day here. Hope you're all doing well, staying home, staying out of the apocalypse. We were just looking last night, like they've canceled parades. They canceled the St. Patrick's Day parade in New Orleans. When New Orleans cancels a fucking parade, it's huge. Coronavirus was here for fucking Mardi Gras. They didn't fucking stop Mardi Gras. And I'm sure that spread some more fucking coronavirus. All those fucking people packed down there.
Stopped me from going to Mardi Gras. Though.
Yeah, but we stopped going. Well, that and we got a puppy.
Yeah, but I could have gotten the puppy a week later.
Yeah.
I chose to get him because I knew I wasn't going to go to any parades anyway.
Yeah. Mojo, come here. Come here.
They want to. The puppy?
They want to see you. Come here, you mutt.
Put him up on your lap.
You big cur. Say hi. Look at Mojo. See it? So we have 2 dogs with 1 blue eye now. And this guy, they think that he's going to get as big as our big-ass dog. But this little fucker plays like he's a big-ass dog. Our big-ass 70-pound dog will knock him across the fucking room, slam him on his head, and this little fucker gets up, launches for his throat. Bold.
And he
bold
bites him by his lower black lip.
Stop. Come on. You're going to make me all gushy. Then people won't be scared of me anymore. Oh, God, they've already seen me with a puppy. Yeah. Damn, it's all downhill from here.
Your PR campaign.
My PR campaign. Yeah, I should use this as my profile picture. Look, puppies love him. How evil could he possibly be? The puppies love him. Get down, you freak.
Watch his eye.
Mojo.
Do they think he's cute?
And he actually came with the name Mojo. He already had that name, so that's probably why we picked him. Although, I feel like I'm banishing magical power all the time because I'm always saying, no Mojo, no Mojo, no Mojo. Like, no whammies, no whammies, no whammies.
So call him the cur. No cur.
I'm going to call you, no cur. Life with dogs is great. Yeah, we got dogs, we got cats. They're kind of working it out. The puppy's way too curious about the cat. And the cat does not like that. We had just gotten to the point where the cat was comfortable enough with the big dog, and then we go throw a monkey wrench into it like this. So they're working it out. Cat smacked the puppy one time, put the puppy in his place.
And he hisses at him.
And he hisses at him, but that still doesn't stop the puppy from being way too curious. And they say curiosity killed the cat, not the puppy.
Well, at least now he can walk past the cat. He used to stay in our room and not go downstairs with Azzy because he was afraid to walk past the cat's palace.
Well, yeah, after the cat smacked him.
Yeah.
The cat bitch slapped the puppy. Let's see if I missed any questions. People talking about puppies. All right. So if we have any more questions, I'll go ahead and do this thing. We're just kind of, chilling. Got to go get the bowl soon. Can't believe, Marta came out here, didn't bring the bowl. God, she had one job.
I brought water, Helen.
Yeah, for you.
But I need a hand for the rail because of my knee. So I can't have the bowl and the water.
It's so full of excuses.
You're so demanding.
Yeah, I know. I'm just a slave driver.
Yeah, you are.
Welcome to our world here. All right. Oh, I don't see any questions here. So again, can you, if you can go go check it out. You know, if you're near New Orleans, come out on the 21st. See the thing. I'll keep you at a distance and be using lots of hand sanitizer and stuff. But other than that, you can watch it online. So you go over to hexwitch.com and check that out. Let's see. I did, Sonny, I did have my medical card back in California once upon a time. Um, and Marta had hers too. But then it became legal, so it was kind of pointless. So we didn't pursue that anymore.
We didn't renew them.
Yeah, haven't really done that here. We're having to do the old-fashioned thing and deal with
Well, I
pot
heard.
dealers.
Well, I heard they legalized it here for medical use,
Hmm.
but all this, and you have to get it. I told you you gotta get it from a pharmacy.
Hmm.
But all of the stuff they sell is edibles. They don't sell flour
Yeah.
for medical.
Well, but that's the thing is then the other company that we never really pursued. We were
Yeah.
going to go down there.
Yeah.
They deliver, so it's it was just pharmacies, but it's apparently not just pharmacies now. But at any rate, we've got like about 5 different dealers, and we the work ethic in New Orleans it doesn't exist. So pot dealers were always flaky, but here, it's really hard to get a hold of somebody. So try and stock up every time we can. But it's decriminalized. Uh, our lawyer taught us what to do. Don't run into a state trooper. If you run into a New Orleans cop, you'd be fine with like up to an eighth in your fucking pocket. But the state troopers, they'll bust you on it. So I have seen state troopers downtown. I saw a thing though, honey, today that the New Orleans police cleared Bourbon Street for the coronavirus. So I'd like to look at that cam
Last
again
night?
and see. I just saw this story this morning. It was an
Okay.
alert.
All right, I posted it on my social media page. So let me
So
check.
yeah, we got this cam on Bourbon Street. You can
It's
look
like
at
a
what's
live
going
cam,
on,
a
live cam,
webcam.
like so. They canceled all these parades and everything, but no, there's no shortage of people fucking packed, fucking shoulder to shoulder on fucking Bourbon Street. Of course, the first one we saw had a mask on, but that's not going to save you. But it is my only hope that all the alcohol that they're spilling on each other in the streets will somehow kill some fucking germs.
Sorry.
Marta's watching commercials.
Okay. There's still people.
Definitely fewer than last night. It's a different angle cam too.
And I don't know how they're gonna be tonight, because the nighttime is when we gotta check.
Yeah. Hmm. I got a pendulum.
Oh, there's a horse-drawn carriage.
I'm intrigued by how I can change it to spin in either direction. Do you know what to do? I've seen people have these like little cards that operate more like a Ouija board to hang the pendulum over. No offense to my friends that sell these kind of things in their stores. That's absolute bullshit. It's not how a pendulum works. It's not what I was taught, and based on what I was taught, there's no way that can do the same thing that I was
Too
taught.
bad you missed that pendulum workshop at Cat Ironwoods.
Oh, the pendulum workshop that Susan Diamond had
Yeah.
at the Hoodoo Heritage Festival. You mean the one that she was too drunk to finish,
Yeah.
and Charles Porterfield had to finish it for
Yeah,
her?
Yeah.
I mean, people. I'll have a couple more beers maybe, and no, I'm actually not gonna be here that long. But I could fucking be drunk off my fucking ass and teach you a fucking pendulum. I would never have a workshop at a festival to teach a fucking pendulum, except she was trying to sell fucking pendulums. It's so fucking easy. It takes fucking 5 minutes, and I could be fucking drunk and stoned and blind and fucking teach you a fucking pendulum. But my old enemy, Susan Dumbass, couldn't finish her workshop because she was too fucking drunk. And Charles Porterfield had to pick up her workshop and finish it for her. And I can't believe that my friends didn't tell me about that. I found out about that like 2 years later. None of my friends that were there told me. It's like, when you see one of my enemies fucking up that bad, tell me. I revel in that shit. Any rate, I was taught pulse point is the key. You hang your fucking pendulum over a pulse point. That would be really hard. I don't know if you could stick one of those cards on your fucking wrist. I don't think it's gonna fucking work. Because the problem is, the pendulum is gonna change how it answers your questions everywhere you are in the world. And it
That's how
depends
my
on the
grandpa
time of the
took his blood
day.
pressure.
Yeah. So you hang it over your pulse point, ask it a yes or no question that you know the answer to. And it'll show you which way is going to be yes, which way is going to be no on that day. It could be lines, it could be circles, it could be Widdershins and DSO. It's going to change all the goddamn time. So I don't think you can use it like a fucking Ouija board. Having said that, the pendulum is probably the most accurate divination tool I have ever used. And I usually won't carry a pendulum. This can be a pendulum. This can be a pendulum. This on a string can be a pendulum. These are going to be better than your pendulum. Although I did have a couple distributors when I had my brick and mortar that were making pendulums that hung on necklaces. Because that's the thing. You want it on you all the time, absorbing your energy. You want to sleep with it for quite a while before you use it. Any divination tool, you don't want to sleep with it, put it under your pillow, that kind of thing. But the longer it's on you, the more attuned with your energy it's going to be. So a pendulum that is a necklace, that'd be great. Or take a necklace and make it a pendulum. This little thing right here, this little Italian horn thing, that'd be an excellent fucking pendulum. And it's with me all the time, and it's made of silver. It's gonna be great. Do you think people overuse the tarot? Can it create self-fulfilling prophecies? Probably. Probably some people overuse it, but yeah, it can create self-fulfilling prophecies. I never like to tell somebody, no, you can't do that. It's like, I'll show you the obstacle that's in the way of you doing that. If you can circumnavigate that fucking obstacle, you can change a no into a yes. So I don't like to try and limit people with the readings. Like, well, no, look, the thing you're trying to do. Well, you got this problem, you got that problem, you got this problem, you got that problem. Try and find a way around those things, or choose a different goal, choose a different target, something like that. But yeah, some people divine fucking everything. You got to give your tools, your divination tools, a certain level of respect. Don't ask them don't ask them stupid, pointless fucking questions all day, every day. Save that for some important shit. You go to the well too many times, the well's gonna turn up dry. Save that shit for when you need it. Don't ask them every day. Don't be fucking pulling a goddamn card for some trivial goddamn thing. Unless you're just beginning and you're trying to, develop a relationship with your cards, that kind of thing. But yeah, I think it can be overused. Good question, whoever the fuck that was. Is that George again? No, Sonny. Do local spirits influence your magic in general? Yes, they do. So, another reason to move to New Orleans. There's so much fucking spiritual activity here, it's not even goddamn funny. I mean, our house is fucking 200 years old. There's all kind of spiritual activity in there. Over 200 years? Probably over 200 years.
Facts don't matter.
Facts don't
It's less than 200
Less than
years.
200 years?
Yeah.
Okay. What are the right kind of questions to ask a pendulum? A pendulum usually yes or no questions, but sometimes direction, like to find a lost object. Pendulum will swing towards the object as you're walking around. You're kind of using it like a GPS system to find the object. Pendulums, I've also seen pendulums used in water witching, finding a water source to build a well. I think divining rods are more common with that kind of thing. What are you doing? Oh, is that the cat? Oh, I see his eyes. He's under the house. All you can see is his eyes, and puppy's like growling at him.
Oh, puppy.
Hey, hey, get out of the cat box. Rock the cat box.
Did you just come up with that?
Yeah,
Oh,
you were here for that.
I'm rubbing off on you.
Oh yeah, you rub off on me. All right,
Only with sanitizer.
I'm gonna do a couple more. I'm looking at like 90 minutes I've been here doing this shit. My battery's got to be ready to die. Is there a particular way you usually phrase the question to tarot then? I usually phrase the question the way the client asked it. Or it's, my wife, she's constantly having me do readings for her. So whatever they said, that's how I phrase the question. Yes or no readings, that's, very specific. Let's see, you keep missing me. LOL, I said this already, but I have a copy of an exact new translation of the Emerald Tablet. A new translation of the Emerald Tablet. Really? Well, hey, you're in my class. You know the address, man. Send me that. I want to see that. A new translation of the Emerald Tablet. That could be fascinating. All right. All right, we'll see if we have another question. If not, I'm going to go and listen to my wife tell me all the horrors of the coronavirus happening out there in the world. I hear her over there going, wow, wow. I'm sure it's more of that going on. It's all the news now. What I like about your work is your balance. Left hand, right hand. Yeah, well, I'll close on this one. I've been around a long time, and I recall what the left-hand path and the right-hand path meant once upon a time. It seems that's been forgotten. People seem to think that the Satanists own the left-hand path. No, that was never the case. The hallmarks of the right-hand path and left-hand path were these things. Well, mainly this thing. The left-hand path believed that the gods, if it existed at all, live here, inside us. Right-hand path believed they lived outside us. So, the right-hand path, to serve the gods, meant serving something external. So, serving others. This is where we got the idea that some Wiccans still spew that you're not supposed to do magic for personal gain, blah, 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 blah. Now, the left-hand path served the self. Since the gods were inside the self, they would serve themselves, do magic for themselves. Over time, all of these philosophies have merged. We believe that the gods are within us and without us. We believe in serving the self and serving others. There is no more left hand or right hand path. They are a path now. Yet people still talk about these archaic terms as if they were opposed to one another. That horse left the gate a long time ago. There is no left-hand path or right-hand path anymore. They are merged. We tend to have left-hand path philosophies and right-hand path philosophies in all of our magical philosophies. And you're just going to have to take that from me because I'm old and I remember some shit. And there's other people telling you that kind of thing, especially the Satanists trying to reclaim that. Well, I was learning this shit when their parents were a sperm. We'll see you all later.
Their parents were a sperm?
Before their parents were a sperm.